Hey there. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cookie B. It's me, Cookie B. And same routine, 4:59. We are waiting on people to log in, chime in so we can get this conversation started. I hope you had a wonderful weekend. I must say I did. It was cake weekend for me. Out there, hey, I got that cake, what you need. I got that cake. So I was selling cakes this weekend, went to my favorite spots, smoked a little bit, drank a little bit, got some work done, Look, I made some accomplishments. I made some major accomplishment. And as you know, I'm going to play my little song that it come in. Thank you, Mark Perry, once again. So when it's 5:00, that's when we're going to really get started and we're going to recap. So, hey there. Hey there, it's 5:00. Welcome to another episode of Conversation with Cookie B. Let me get my song on. Uh-oh. Why does it do this to me every time? I just want to play the song. Ooh, hey there. Conversations with Cookie B. We can talk about anything. Conversations with Cookie B. We'll talk about everything. Everything, my baby. Ooh, yeah, everything. Ha ha. Hey there, y'all. It's 5:00. Hey, Kelly. Welcome into Conversations with Cookie B. As you know, I am Cookie B, and we about to get this party started. Now, hope you had a wonderful weekend. I'm going to start off with something positive. So, I'm going to pull a card. Y'all just come on in here. Give people time to get situated. I know it's only the start of the week, but good things are coming. It's already July, y'all. We are halfway through the year. Almost. So I'll go ahead. We're going to pull a card. I'm going to reach in here and grab this one. Hey there, Nana. The card today is release. Let go. When we release our attachments to be when we release our attachment to be the outcome, we allow the power of grace to work its magic. I will repeat. Let go. Release. When we release our attachment to the outcome, we allow the power of grace to work its magic. Now, I thought that was a good card. Release. That means let go of the reins. That means I surrender. All right. Now, I pulled me some frisky whiskey. Yes, this is my last bottle, but I'm sure I'll get some more. But hey. Got a little frisky whiskey. Statement shirt of the day. I found this shirt that says glamour. And it says, like a normal grandma, but only more awesome. And then when I put my glasses on, I say, hey, this kind of look like me on this shirt. So let me wink. I should have had some red lipstick on. Yeah, I'm a wink. All right, you guys. Now, as you know, I go over the stuff in history, and we've had a rough weekend because I want to send my sincerest condolences to the young man. I want to say his name is Noah, who's hanging out on a boat with his friends that I'm not even going to say they're friends because your friends wouldn't do this to you. Happen to be white, and he's no longer with us. And yet, nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows what happened. Hey, Sebastian. So nobody knows what happened. This brought my attention to some other unalivings that happened where I think I was reading about the young lady who went to a pajama party. I want to say it happened to be a wine thing or whatever. And it had to be about 8 of them. And she was the only person of color there, a black woman. And they unalived her. Nobody knows what happened. Just recently, too, as I talked about on a previous show, the young lady who went overseas with her fiance, she came up missing. Nobody knows what happened. It's so many of them, and I don't want to bring. I'm starting on a positive note, but I was just thinking about this has been going on for a while because I want to say Shaquilla Washington, Shaquilla. I'm getting that name wrong. Shaquilla Washington. This was back in 2002. 25-year-old traveled to San Cabos, Mexico, with 6 of her considered friends. Shortly after, video footage showed Robinson being violently assaulted by the group, and she is no longer with us. Lauren Fields, I think this is the one, the 23-year-old found herself unresponsible. They found her unresponsive in Bridgeport, Connecticut Bridgeport, Connecticut in her apartment after a date with a man she met on a dating app with a white man. Hey, D-Lo. Yeah, Justin Johnson. Now, Shaquilla, that happened in 2021. Justin Johnson, 24, 16-year-old, died in Lower Paxton Township, Pennsylvania, after going outside to play a neighborhood game called Tag, or Senior Assassin, when a group of friends, 2 of whom were white, unalived him. So I do apologize. What's going on in the world right now is something that I cannot explain. Sebastian, I see your comment in hey there, Calvin. Your comment in the your statement in the comment of some series saying maybe we should stay with our own. Now, I don't know if God truly meant that or meant for that to be like that, but we shall see. On the other hand, today in Black history, did you know, in 1906, legendary baseball pitcher Satchel Paige was born. He set formidable records in the Negro Leagues before becoming the oldest rookie in the Major League Baseball. Excuse me, 1949. Prolific inventor Frederick M. Jones patented an automatic refrigerating system. With over 60 patents to his credit, his cooling technology revolutionized the long-haul transportation of food and medicine. Look at that. 1972, Hall of Fame basketball player Lisa Leslie was born on this day. Of course, we know that she won the Olympic gold medals, numerous Olympic gold medals. I'm tongue-tied today, as well as was in the WNBA. I'm saying to myself, my frisky whiskey taking effect pretty early. 2026, George E. Johnson. That just happened recently. The pioneering entrepreneur who built the black hair care empire, Ultra Sheen and Afro Sheen, he passed away. So we already know that he just recently passed away. So your soul can glow. Also today's birthdays. I believe Kevin Hart's birthday is today. Somebody said Marcus Miller. He's a jazz composer. Who was this? Alan Payne. He was in New Jack City. We know who that is. Hey, Biggie Boo. Alan Payne from New Jack City and Jason's Lyric. That we know about Jason's Lyric. Cree Summer, prolific actress. I think she does the voice of Susie Carmichael in Rugrats, as well as Penny on Inspector Gadget. And I forgot what show, but I think she appeared on A Different World numerous times. And then Joe, I want to know what turns you on. His birthday, from what I'm seeing, is also today. All right, y'all. Let's get this conversation started. Now, I know, hold on a minute. It was calling my name. I know that on Thursday we talked about oh my gosh, y'all, I'm having so much menopause issues. It's a problem. Empty nesting. And when we talked about empty nesting on Friday, that stemmed from on Thursday, which stemmed from last Tuesday, we were just talking about our grown kids and us adults becoming empty nesters. Now, part of the conversation we talked about on Thursday led to this conversation, because what we want to know, and that's when I was calling on Tracy and Boogie, Kelly and Jay, those of you also, I think, that have been married, but of course maybe your spouse passed away or something, or you were an empty nester. These relationships, What happens, and hopefully our favorite wisdom will be chiming in today, but what happens when when the children have left the home? Do y'all still like each other? Now that was the conversation we needed to talk about, because now supposedly life is just beginning. Because in the beginning, when you first get married, there ain't no kids or nothing, but y'all getting it in, y'all having a good time, enjoying each other, and then the children happen. What do you say? Wedding, marriage, then comes the baby carriage. Then you have the children. Well, children grow up and move on about their married lives, because it's time for them to spread their wings and get out of the empty nest. But now what happens? What happens when it's you and him again, or you and her again? And we were so busy lifing and trying to build this beautiful life and doing all this. What happens when it's just me and you again? Now, I know a lot of people will say, my people, I'm waiting on y'all to chime in. I know a lot of y'all will have something to say about this topic. I hope about it, because what do you do? Now, a lot of us said, we start dating each other all over again. Oh my goodness. You start dating all over again, or because we have grown together and because we have gotten to know each other, we get to know each other. So sometimes that's the rebirth of your marriage. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to get this, turn this, get out of here. I'm trying to turn so I can see it on my laptop. I mean, my iPad as well. Okay, here we go. In case somebody come in, okay, there we go. So now it's off. So now what do we do, you guys? Now, I did also find, because they said this, we was talking about the love languages when my girlfriend Katnin was on there. Hey, and I bought, remember that I had this book, The 5 Love Languages, and Will chimed in and said, use that as a blueprint. Now, I also said that, guess what? I even had this, which is 1 Year Love Language Minute Devotional. I even had this. So whoever he is, I'm ready. Yeah. Kelly says, Jay was in mourning over the kids leaving. It took him a couple of years to catch up with my joy. Then one kid came back to bust my bubble. Oh my gosh, Kelly, that is hilarious. Now, I get it. You were that mom, kind of like, we share similar interests and stuff. We're, oh my gosh, girl, when we have those conversations, how your kids doing, girl? And you always, I think every adult has this conversation when they want to brag on their kids. You want to see the fruit of my loins is now the head of the CEO of blah, 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 or the fruit of my loins, girl, she got her own business. She doing this, she doing that. Girl, she getting married. We always have those stories to tell as adults, because we want to look and say that's a product of me. That's a product of me. Hey, Tracy, thank you for tuning in. So now that they are living their lives, they are married, having their kids, living elsewhere. And I'm talking about empty nesters. Now, what do you do? Now, to the flip side of that, some in a divorce. Some say, I don't know you no more. I don't want to know you. I only stayed with you because of the kids, and stuff comes mustering up from years of suppression, and then they separate. They gone on and start their own lives. So I'm going to ask you guys, because, empty nesting for my couples out there that have been married for a while. And we got Calvin on here. Now, Calvin, he's getting ready to get married. And even though he's going to have a younger child in the household, there's going to come a time, because he mentioned that the child goes to the father for the summer. So is that the time you're going to use to reconnect? I'm sure you will. Hey, Tracy says, we have always tried to maintain time for us. Date night, couple of trips, etc. So it wasn't that big of a deal. Well, that is great. You say, now Jay is helping me take care of my parents. Well, you know what? We always have that. Once a man, twice a child. Once a man, twice a child. So now, and when I say child, I mean your adult parents, because you have to care for them. That's a great thing. But make sure, I know you guys, make sure you take time for each other. Please take time for each other. And I thank you, Jay, for doing that. I know you've been in there for a while, 30 some years. Thank you. Tilly also, you guys, I know you guys have seen Tilly come in. We send our condolences because she lost her brother. And, this can be a trying time, this time of year when people are passing away, but, he is in a better place and we are so grateful. So condolences. Kanai says, woo, Calvin got 11 days. Now, Calvin, I know you on here listening. There are more people I'm finding out that listen to my, podcast or my live, after it's now no longer live. So when they do that, guess what? I've heard so many people say, Cookie, I got questions. Calvin, you have been a hot topic, especially when people who have watched my live and they see me out at our favorite hole in the wall. First of all, the question is he here? Because I want to see who he really is. Second question is he serious? And I'm not trying to get back on you or anything like that, but it was funny because there were so many people that said, I even sat down, I watched it, and I talked it over with my wife or my husband or my significant other. He really gonna marry her? They talked about the age difference and things like that. So Calvin, just know with all our love, we are sending you, but also take heed, slow down. Love only how you can love, and I want her to love how only she can love. And we are so excited that you're going on this journey. A lot of people were saying, well, what's the rush? I think I heard somebody say, well, he was going to marry the other one in September, but then he married this one in July. Somebody asked, well, is he Robert De Niro? Is she pregnant? I'm telling you, I was just enjoying how people's minds was just spinning about your situation. Now, we all know you can do whatever you want to do. You're a grown ass man. But a lot of people were saying, man, they happy for you. Don't get me wrong. Everybody's happy for you. But everybody had questions. I digress. So the topic of today on Conversation with Cookie B, as you know, we're talking about empty nesting. Now, after you empty nesters, get back together with your significant other. Let's say if you're not married, you've been with your baby daddy for 50 years, whatever. How do you get that spark back? Now, I know on a previous show, I talked about this. How do you get the spark back? Now, Tilly said, they always tried to maintain date night, period. What happens when your love language, and we're using this as a blueprint, what happens when your love language has changed? Because if you've been married, and most of my couples on here have been married, I'll say 10 plus years, you grow together. You change. You realize you can't drink milk no more. Your body has changed. You realize a lot of stuff. And how do you adjust? How do we get back to, it's you. Or there's no distraction except, like I said, you two are the only ones in the household. So in my comments, you guys, you say walk around the house with no clothes on. Now, those are the positive things, because a lot of people say, yeah, I'm able to do what I want to do. I can walk around the house with no clothes on. I can do this. I ain't got to worry about no dishes being done. It's one plate. I get it. But that person that you fell in love with, that person that you helped raise these children with, what happens now? Now, are we doing some different dating? Are we rediscovering one another? Hopefully, we are rediscovering one another. I don't know what that noise was. Sorry, you guys. Are we rediscovering one another? Are we saying, hey, I remember we used to do this. Now, keep in mind, even some of the things that we used to do when we've gotten older, we can't just go to the park and push you on the swing because you're a little heavier now, or maybe you can. But there's so many, of course, amusement parks. There's so many different things that we can do now. You can go golfing together. You can explore new things together. So come on, Kelly, Jay, Tracy, Boogie, Sebastian. I know you are newly, and let's get that up. Hey, Karen, how are you? Welcome in, Sebastian. We know that Sebastian is newly coupled up. So Sebastian got a woman now. And I know that Sebastian is not a little empty nester due to the fact that he is taking care of what he calls his baby birds, his his sister and her son. So that can be kind of can be kind of hard. That can be kind of hard because you're thinking, hey, but Sebastian also share with me that he has a plan. So good luck, Sebastian. We know that's going to work. Tracy said it takes conscious, intentional effort. You're right. It does take a lot of effort. Now, Jay, Jay, what you say? Jay said, I view marriage through love, honor, and duty, and just in that order: love, honor, and duty. Those three pillars always guide me through all the ups and the downs and the inevitable changes. It's my duty to love and honor my woman till death do us part. Empty nesting does not change my duty. We can figure it out as we move along. Now that is good, because sometimes you got to roll with the punches and get knocked on the ground by all this. That's an Isley Brothers song. I heard it earlier today. I just shared it with y'all. But anyway, time is truly wasting. That was it. Kelly says, we were becoming foodies before the parents needed help. Wow. Now, to me, my opinion, when it comes to that, discovering different foods with somebody that love to eat, or you guys love to eat, that is the biggest thing. And I've been seeing that go through a lot on TikTok, where mothers and sons and husband and wife say, we went and tried this restaurant. There are a lot of people who do it upscale, and say, hey, we bought this and we're going to go ahead and try it. Hey, Godiva, you ate all them cookies yet? Hold on. Godiva says, after the nest is empty, you honestly have to stare the truth in the face. Self-reflection and effort is a requirement. It's time to date each other again. It's work for real. So if it's worth the fight, get ready to rumble. Thank you for that, Godiva. I appreciate that. Thank you. Now, I must say, I think, Godiva, you and Anthony been married for a while too. The advice that you guys are giving, excellent advice, because you guys have lived through it. And just know that I'm very, very thankful for all of that. But when it comes to how do we get to this point? Because what if it's not, maybe we are, like you said, Godiva, now being faced with the truth. It's just you and me, baby. We've been married for, and let's say, the average when you become an empty nester, let's say 20 years old. So, or 24, because you graduate from college. So we'll say 23, 24. We'll use that as a number. I mean, it's not facts. I'm just using that as a number. So now after 23, and if you got married, let's say before the child was born. So now we're going to round off and say, okay, so you've been married for 20 years, even if you had the child before y'all get married. So after 20 years of growing and knowing someone, and now, and I'm meaning growing and knowing someone in the marriage, as well as growing and knowing someone because you raising another human being. What do you do? What do we do? Because there's some stuff you may have tolerated because you like, look, we got to get through this. But now there's no one else to stare you in the face with all that information. Jay says, oh no, that's not Jay. I'm sorry. Oh, hey, Blue. Hey there. I'm happy as I had Social Security interview today. All right. Congratulations on the interview. If that's what your heart truly desires, I hope you get the job. I really do. Tracy says, for the newlyweds, always date each other so when you become empty nesters, it won't be such a big transition. Great advice. Now, Sebastian, I don't know if you've gotten to that point of marriage, but I must say, and I'm going to share this with you guys, and I'm now sharing it with you, Sebastian, because you didn't know. When I saw you, I can tell that there's a certain softness to you. Not saying, hold on, y'all. Sorry, putting that up. Not saying that there was a hardness to you, Sebastian, but there's a certain softness to you, and I can see that. Sometimes I'm learning this. A man just wants to be appreciated, and I truly hope she appreciates you. I truly hope that you're enjoying the journey. I know you guys have been out before, a couple of months ago or whatever, when I saw y'all together. But to now know that, quote unquote, when we was having that conversation with Kareem, you made it official. I heard you say it. So I know that is officially, quote unquote, your woman. If you ain't asked it yet, you claimed her, and that's okay. That's okay. But I know that you guys have probably each been through your own little things. And Sebastian, just know that I will be tapping into your wisdom, because we're going to ask, dating at your age, and you are way, and I don't mean it in a bad way, but you over 60 something years old. So we're going to have that conversation too, dating over 60 or finding love over 60. And that's okay. That's okay. But I digress. So now Tracy is giving great advice when she says, for the newlyweds, always date each other. So when you become empty nesters, it's not such a big transition. Now, I know a lot of new age couples. I know a lot of couples, period, that always say, yeah, we have date night. And I know when I saw Calvin, and I don't know why her name always escapes me each time. When I saw Calvin out this past weekend, she was like, I'll be with you in a minute. Oh, thank you. I know when I saw Calvin and his bride to fiance out this weekend, I said, is it date night? Is it date night? They were like, yeah, it's date night. That is great. And the smiles on their face and the reconnecting. And even if you just sitting there vibing to some music and smoking a cigar or drinking your favorite drink, even if you weren't out, if you happen to do that in the comfort of your home, if you guys share certain interests, share of the same interests, that can really be a point of bonding. I'm going to piggyback on something that Wisdom Will told us too, because you don't have 6 or 7 minutes to reconnect. That reconnection doesn't necessarily have to be the bedroom, but 6 or 7 minutes to just sit down and say, baby, how was your day? Okay. Even if you have to put a timer, then he asks or she asks, darling, how was your day? And he just can keep doing that. And then, of course, occasionally, even if budgets will allow, because I know we're living in some strange times right now, going out, even weekend getaways where you are not in something that's so familiar. So sometimes going with the unfamiliar can be challenging, but it's a challenge for both of y'all. And you both enjoy the challenge together. That's a good part. So I want you guys to do that also. Godiva says, once again, effective communication. There are some tough conversations that may have to happen. You can love someone or have love, but not like the person. Now, that was my next thing, Godiva, because that was one of Will's questions too. Do you like that person? Do you like that person? When there are no other distractions, when there are no other distractions, this is where the truth comes in. Can the relationship survive just the two of you? And if so, allow each other to reintroduce yourselves. The person you marry at 26, sure in hell ain't the person you married at 60. You're right. That's what I mean by the growing of each and everybody, because, raising the kids, you was this way. And then you realize, like I said, baby, I can't drink no more. As I got old, I'm lactose intolerant. Things and people change. Jay says, don't panic when it's just the two of you again. Although you created a union at the altar. Don't forget who you were, your likes, hobbies, ambition, and etc. Now, remember how to exist apart from each other in the same dwelling. That's good. That's good. Kelly says, I like Jay. I think he's a great person with great morals, and he makes me laugh without even trying. Now that's funny. Because Kelly, when you're saying that, it's like you're saying it as though he's not your husband. You're like, I actually like him. And he is your husband. So that's the love part, but to actually like that person. Hey, Kim, welcome in, welcome in. That is to like some person without even trying. When you look at that person, because we know that we can love very deeply. You can love, and I think somebody put this in the chat already, or have love for someone and not like them. Not like them. Liking that person involves a lot because you have to like their ways, certain ways. You have to like who they are when they're not around you, or especially when they come around you, when you're in the company of others. Do I really like them? Do I really like them? So I want to thank those who have come chiming in. Welcome to another episode of Conversations with Cookie B. We're talking about empty nesters, but do I really like you? Do I still like you? And what do we do about it if I don't like you? Now, like a lot of the people in the chat, as I showed you guys before, I know we all agreed, and Kat was on here too, everybody's read the book, The Love Languages. Everybody's heard of it, yada, yada, yada. But when reading that book, I know too, because there are some times when I take that test, the test I took when I first got the book, is surely different from the test I take now, because your love languages change. They change a lot. Now I'm going in here because I know that there are 5 of them, the words of affirmation. Now that we're empty nesters, you don't tell me I look good anymore. You don't tell me, hey, where that dress at? Because, that was probably in our honeymoon stage when we first got together and we was doing this and doing that. But the words of affirmation, the quality time, words of affirmation, the quality time, receiving gifts, acts of service, and physical touch. Now, those are the 5 love languages. Now, we're using this, a lot of you guys have already read it, but Will made a point when you say, use that as a blueprint. Because if you took the test, the same test, and I challenge you guys to do that. If you've read it and took the test years ago, take it again. Take it again and see, has your love language changed? Now, also, I don't know how I got this. I probably got it on when I ordered the book, but the 1-year love language minute. This is the devotional. And I read through some of it. I haven't read through all of it because I don't know, life happens and I just haven't finished it. But I'm thinking about reading it again. I'm thinking about going over it again because, 2, I want to know my own love languages and what has changed. Now, you guys have put some excellent information in the chat regarding empty nesting. Now you're going to be gone. The kids are gone. What do you do when the kids are gone? What do you do? Dating, conversations, communications. You guys all have given, those of you that have been married number of years and stuff like that. Yes, you guys have really put in some gems in there. Jay says, Kelly cracks herself up when she attempts her corny jokes on me. She laughs so hard at the jokes, I never understand. And see, that's the part that also humors me, because you guys can still laugh at each other, love one another, and still say, baby, I still don't get it. Baby, I still don't get it. You can still say, I still don't understand that side of you. Kelly says, I do because I'm hilarious. That is hilarious. Hey, Coco. Yeah, that can be one of the things, because I know laughter, they say, is the best medicine. So with laughter being the best medicine, we have to be able to laugh at, our ups and our downs, our highs and our lows. We even have to be able to laugh sometimes at ourselves, because we will think, yeah, we used to do this, baby, and I can't do that no more. And you have to laugh at yourself. Even if you say, man, remember we used to go running, or we used to go walking, even if you started your journey, exercising, or baby, remember you made that cake and you was trying to cook and blah, blah, blah. We have to be able to laugh. We definitely have to be able to laugh at ourselves, and look at them loving on each other in the chat, And that is something that, can be rare, I must say, because some people be like, you know what? He get on my nerves. He do this, he do that. We also talk about even when empty nesters, and now it's just you and him, or you and her, changes that may happen. What happens when someone passes away? Hey, Sebastian, what happens when someone passes away? What happens when we can't do what we used to do? What happens when somebody takes ill as an empty nester? And I'm using Jay and Kelly because they were empty nesters for a minute. And now one of the parents gets sick. And you come together to support the parent, but you also have to support one another, because that can be a great thing that can, man, we back doing this again. I thought it was going to be me and you. And life start lifing. Life gets interrupted by certain things and events. But as Jay put in the chat, through sickness and health, through rich or poor, all of that can play many, many factors, because those are vows that you took. Let me see. Thank you. Calvin says sometimes you have to go back and hit the restart button once you become empty nesters, by getting to know each other all over again, plan the date nights, plan things we used to do before we had our children. Now, that is in concurrence with everything everybody else was saying. That's correct, Calvin. Sometimes it's because, let me say this, a lot of things that existed when you first got married don't exist right now, or they have evolved. So it's like, hey, when we went to the show back then, it was, $5. Now you may have to plan it because it's not in the budget, because both of us are on fixed incomes and we can only go on Tuesdays. Understandable. But it's the thought. It's the act of doing it. It's, baby, hey, it's Tuesday. Let's go to the show. What happens when the movie that y'all want to see, or there's nothing you want to see at the show? Be ready to have some alternative plans, baby. Let's go get some chicken and go to the park. Plan a picnic, And of course, here in Vegas, during certain times of year, it is a little too hot. But, let's do it in the front living room. Let me come home and, there's some flowers there, and you say, what's the occasion? Just because. And me may not have bought no flowers in 10 years. We all know the, pagan holidays, Valentine's Day and all that stuff, but the just because flowers, that's good. Sebastian says, go on a trip for a week. You're right. And do some local stuff. What if you have to take a staycation? Stay in the same city, but just go stay at the hotel. Just go, or anywhere in the city at a resort, or get another Airbnb or something like that. Just something not familiar, or get uncomfortable instead of being at your home all the time. Jay says, for real, I believe Kelly was a mediocre stand-up in another life. She's constantly running jokes. I didn't see this coming 30 years ago. I do get a kick out of her cracking herself up. Oh my gosh, that is funny. When you can laugh at your own jokes and laugh at yourself, you do have the best life, I must say. Kim says you have to be creative and open to new things. You're right. Because sometimes, as becoming empty nesters, and now we're rediscovering, we're still stuck in certain ways. And we have evolved. Things have evolved. Bring home cake slices just because. Oh, come on now. I got that cake. What you need? Yes. Bring home something just because. Of course, ladies, we too old for this. Hey, Jerome. Gerald, I'm saying your name, Gerald Jerome. But sometimes we get used to this. We get used to, baby, I'm gaining weight. Baby, I like that weight on me. Don't worry about it. Go ahead and eat the cake, Annie Mae. Eat the cake. That's what we going to do. Because going from a house full of kids to none. And when I say house full, 2, 3, 4, to even 1. When you two have come together and realized the milestones, the graduation from high school, college, or graduations, hey, she's working this job, she's now moved out, just them leaving can do something to your soul. Because we know as parents, we can be controlling. We have a watch over the baby eagle. I know and are constantly knowing where you are. Any of that. But now when they're away, it's that security of, I hope they out there okay. And it's not just our child that we raised. It's we scared of the world. No matter how many times we have tried to protect them, like we talked about, empty nesting. Just got to kick them out and let them see what they can do. If they can fly. And normally, based on people in my chat, all of our children are soaring very well. But now that our children are gone, or our child is gone, what are we going to do? Maybe we still working. Both of y'all go to work, come home. What's the conversations like? What's the conversations like? Sebastian says, my son is here now. Sebastian, you added someone else to the household? Oh my God. Sebastian, I want to know how you juggling it. I really know. I really want to know. And I'm not going to say her name on here because, I don't have her permission or anything like that. But with your relationship that you're now having, becoming an empty nester, then coming in and now having to take care or care for your, and when I say care for, you're making sure that your sister and her son are okay. And now your son is back. What we doing? What we doing, Sebastian? What we doing, Sebastian? What are we doing? Oh, you say he's visiting. Okay, never mind. Never mind. You had me? I got to sneeze, y'all. Excuse me, you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sitting under this vent. He's only visiting. That's fine. That's fine. And it's nice when they visit. Y'all see me with the glamour shirt on. It's nice when they visit, especially your grandkids. Then you can send them back on their way. You can. But if he's just visiting, that's fine. But still, when it comes to you and your new relationship, even Calvin said, you have to plan stuff, be intentional. I saw them on date night thank you. They saw them on date night this past weekend. We have to be, and most women, I will tell you, us as women, have to be consistent. Be very consistent and intentional. Because that's what means the most. That's what, when we say, baby, I know it ain't Wednesday for our natural sessions, but let's go ahead and do it tonight and tomorrow. Like Will would say, the actual, the end goal is to get the cookie. We still have to mentally stimulate each other. We still have to realize and discover. And this is when a time where we may discover some new things we didn't even know. We didn't even know about each other. Kelly says, I love when both my kids visit now. We really love visiting our daughter because she cooks and provides cocktails. Now, you know what? That's the thing, Kelly. Y'all say, we finna go visit. And she say, Mama, I've cooked. I've made, cause now you're relating to them on a different level as an adult in their own house. And you realize, they over 21, they can drink and they can cook, and we can have adult conversations with your children. I think empty nesting is a good thing. I really do, because 2, you rediscover your child in their element, not yours, because they at my house. But now that they have their own, you observe your child in their own element. So empty nesting as I say, when we getting to know each other again, you're getting to know too your children again. You're getting to know also yourself again. And that's a great thing. This empty nesting thing, and I know that we are coming up on a time where, people getting ready to go back to school, but that's okay. This can be a time, as Calvin said, reset. You restart, revive. You getting to the point where, you know what? Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result is called insanity. And we got enough of that. We got enough of insane people. But I'm excited because of you guys. I'm excited about the stories. I'm excited about all the input because most of the people who may be watching this, they don't see what I see. They don't know what I know because I know you guys. And to see the relationships that have evolved or evolving, to see the new and the old, the good and the bad, the rediscovery is what I want to say. That's rediscovering and realignment of each other. Jay says, we team up more often on different health challenges since there's no other competing priorities. That's okay. That's okay. It's amazing to me to know, and I have to share this with you guys. Oh my gosh. To know Kelly and Jay from the beginning, from Northern, to being in their wedding, to our children. It's amazing because I've watched the steps. I've had excellent. I have to tell you guys, I'm so proud of my tribe because I have excellent role models. Even with me getting to know Godiva more, girl, when she picked up them cookies, that was so fun. She picked up them cookies and she was eating them in the car. Godiva and Anthony, to get to know Tilly and Boogie, to see the interactions. Those are priceless to me because I don't think they get in public and, and then get home and be like, I'm fighting and all that stuff. I can see what's genuine, what's authentic to me. And that is great to watch. It is great to see. And I have to give the flowers are due to watch Calvin on his journey. To know that he is now about to jump the broom. Hey. And now I'm telling Sebastian's business. To see him now, I'm single. Yeah, such and such and such. These people, because I got the receipts from previous videos. To now see a certain softness that's about him. Not derogatory, no nothing, but I believe that a man and woman were truly meant to be together. If you are, LBGQ, whatever, such, love is love. I haven't witnessed that interaction, but I can honestly say, this journey that I'm on right now, I'm loving it. The advice, the concern. And like I said, more people have watched after I go off to say, I got questions or girl, blah, blah, blah. And I get it. The time zone can be different, but the topic of empty nesting, when your children, eventually leave and now you're with this person that you made the child with, or if it's not that, hey, I've been with him since she was 3. This is her stepfather, whatever, still his child. But you two are now back to being one, more or less, because you're in the house together. You realize, I don't know. It's just amazing. But then too, like some of you guys said, have your own space. Have your own separate lives too, but you're able to come together or even bring the two together. And it's still a good thing. I have to say I had some questions that were asked for me over the weekend, even when we talked about the empty nesting, because a lot of them, as you guys, have the same reaction, date, go on some trips, because a lot of people say, well, now that they gone, we can go to Bali, we can go to Taiwan, Thailand, they can do more, but then when that too comes retirement. So now that we both retired, it's different when you're both going to work every day. But now we both retired. So we both in the same household. What we do? Now, I know that Will share with us, he has learned to make his wife coffee, the coffee she likes, and how she likes to drink it. But the discovery of it can be something as a woman impressive. Like, oh, you paid attention. When it comes to our men, men see us get our nails and feet done and stuff like that. Baby, come on, ride with me. Come on, take a ride with me. A little manicure. So, baby, when you touch me, I feel them soft hands, or, they not, you've been working in the yard and they dirt. There's nothing wrong with a little pampering. Let me say that. There's so many different things. Even if you go or you order, like we did during COVID, Kanai and I, the paint canvases and paint, and say, baby, let's print some pictures off the internet, or find a picture printed, put it on canvas and hang it up in our house. So when we walk past it, we can see it all the time, or we'll enjoy looking at it every time. Karen says, we've been empty nesting since 20 with 11 TVs and a shed with a TV. We're now visiting each other and are mostly someplace in here what we do solo. A whole different part of the house, almost like separate apartments. And then we hook up. We hook up. And always amazing breakfasts, dinners is a must. Karen, that's hilarious. So in your own home, you guys still be somewhere else doing whatever they doing, so y'all doing solo, and then hook up. I like that. You then hook up. Now, that can be fun because it's like, I'm finna come over your house tonight, even though you're in the same house. I know that, who was that? Somebody put in my chat too, oh no, I think that was Miss Pat. Because Miss Pat, she is a comedian. And she said her and her husband sleep they still in the same house, but they sleep in separate bedrooms due to he has sleep apnea. He wears this machine, yada, yada, yada. But then they come together and then he gone on about his business. Sometimes, that could be the best thing for a marriage. And they still, nothing wrong with the marriage. No, nothing like that. They just said they just don't sleep together. But they get it in every now and then. But even when they get it in now and then, because, we all need our sleep, he goes to a separate room. He does that and you just like, hey. But yeah, Karen, that part, because that's hilarious. Because you're in the same home. Like, and we know about, and I'm going to speak on Chicago bungalows. They used to be upstairs and downstairs in the basement. And then, the basement, most men now may call that, I'm in my man cave or whatever. And the woman don't go down there. Be like, girl, he downstairs. That's where he has his peace. And I'm upstairs and I can be on this floor and do what I want to do and I ain't got to worry about nothing. Sometimes you can find peace in your own house separately. But a lot of you guys also put in the chat, but you come together. Karen says, we love it. We message when it's time. That is hilarious. You know what? And that works for some people. Each marriage is different. Each relationship is different. But it works. Sometimes you have to agree to disagree. Sometimes you have to like to dislike and be okay. Jay says, it took me a while to figure out the Cookie dynamic and the Kelly dynamic. I thought the personalities were so different. Then it hit me. We had kids. Kelly was the laid back one. Cookie wore it on her sleeve. We can tell her some stories like, okay. Yeah, y'all can tell us some stories later. Yeah, you figure out the difference between the Cookie and the Kelly dynamic. The personalities were so different. Then it hit you. Yeah, we had kids. Kelly was the laid back one. Cookie wore it on her sleeve, and we can tell some stories later. Yeah, tell us some stories about that, because I know that the ups and downs, good and bad, whatever it is, empty nesting can be like the mourning of something or the rejuvenation of something. It can be something dramatic, drastic, or it can be something spectacular. I know that we're coming up on that time, but this past weekend too, I learned of hold on, let me see. Karen says, this is some stuff. Oh, you said this is some stuff I get. This is, wait a minute, this is some of the stuff I get. It ain't nothing popping up. Hold on, I'm trying to see it. Tea first, booty second. Oh. He sends a message like that. That's cute. That's cute. That's real cute. I want to let you guys know also, as I was saying, I even learned this past weekend about one of my favorite couples are no longer together at my favorite place to be. And it's amazing to me because I was heartbroken. I really was. I was shocked. But it happens. Their children are grown. They just realized, even though we did this for our kids, they gone. Now I may have to do this for me. I guess they realized that they no longer liked each other. But after 32 years and still having a lot of your life in front of you, I know how they met. I've heard those stories and everything, but I must say I was truly, I had shed some tears because I was truly heartbroken. I was truly, wow. I had no words. But I thanked him for sharing, or her too, for sharing that part with me. But yeah, sometimes after the nest is empty, you are too. You're tired. And I'm not saying this is what they were saying, but this is what I was feeling. Sometimes you realize, yes, it's over. Call it a day. We did what we needed to do to raise our children. I tolerated you. I did what I had to do, putting up with your subtle things that you did. Yeah. And I know that it's hard out here for a pimp. Sebastian says they'll be lonely for a minute and both of them will come back crying. If they get back together, sometimes a separation can bring you back together. And that's good. That's good. Jay says empty nesting doesn't have to be difficult. Heal any existing issues before, I will say, before the kids pull up. Love, honor, and duty. Love, honor, and duty. And I love that. Lord have mercy, y'all. I thank you guys. This has been very educational. This has been something to discuss because in our age bracket, this is what's really going on. Some children, some of us are getting the last child out of the nest. Some of us, the children have already flown the coop. And then you're realizing, it's just me and you. What do I do? And some of us realize, as a single mother, it's just me. Rediscovery, revive, relocating, it may be necessary. And that's okay. It is okay. We can agree to disagree about anything. We can love on each other from afar. But in the end, it's all about you. Take time for self-care, as well as the person you're caring for, as well as whatever else you need to do. I know that. Buy a Corvette and call it a day. This has been this episode of Conversations with Cookie B. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. I cannot wait to talk to y'all on Thursday. Lord have mercy. Empty nesting. We have not closed it. If this topic comes up, that's fine. But we talked about empty nesting. We talked about dating. We talked about Calvin. I'm setting up an appointment for her to come on because we anxiously want to know her side of the story. Because July 18th is right around the corner next week. So we cannot. I cannot wait. Yes, and I got that Thursday. I have cake on Thursday. A Sunday was a slow night, so I got 19 cakes left. I'll be at Tap and Ash on Thursday. Hey, I got that cake. What you need? I got that cake. So that I can get rid of these cakes that I got sitting around here. Sebastian says sometimes you have rusty, uncooperative ninjas in your house. Sebastian, we will talk to you on Thursday. I need to talk to you about that too. If you don't mind sharing your story with us, because that can be very, very challenging, especially at our age. So we know that sometimes, like we say, once a man, twice a child. We'll talk about it. Once again, this has been this episode of Conversation with Cookie B. Thank you guys for sharing. I cannot wait to talk to you on Thursday. I love you guys. Talk to you soon. Thursday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Share this with someone. Follow. We got some stuff we need to talk about. And sometimes therapy is too expensive. So come on in here. Let's talk about it. See you on Thursday.